Thank you for all the work you've been doing and in both in the community and on social and through your podcast and through media. I think you really have a full 360 approach on how you're reaching multiple generations. My question here, and I think you have a unique opportunity to bring in the hip hop generation and the hip hop community into government, especially with the mayor-elect Mamdani kind of represents to so many different people. And I think, how do you think, or how do you plan to maybe serve as a bridge to the larger hip hop community? Because I think as we move into these next several elections, a lot of folks, both not just rappers themselves, but people in the industry and all the folks that they influence, don't see themselves or don't see an opportunity for themselves in the political system. They say no matter what the mayor, some of these same laws and how the police are treating them and some of these same issues are still arising. But I think you being on the inside, or you working with the mayor and working with his administration, both from transition and in governing, has such a unique opportunity to be a bridge to so many more influential, I won't just say the community and the fans, but also the artists through New York. Because, New York has it's the home of hip hop, and it has such a rich hip hop history. And there's so many different artists and folks in hip hop that are kind of at every level. So I'm really excited about what you could potentially do there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I thought about before even accepting, the offer to be a part of this transition team, is how can I impact the community? How can I impact the culture? And when the newspaper, the Post, decided to put me on the front and quote unquote call me a crime boss and try to smear me, it was refreshing to listen to my community defend me. It was refreshing to hear artists, radio hosts, everybody possible come forward to say this man has been doing this work, selflessly, honestly, and making real impact for over a decade. So when they stood up and they seen me, I've been getting calls and text messages from so many of my friends. They say what the devil means for bad, God would transform into good. And they thought that they were doing something to defame me, but they just opened up the eyes and made people feel like we actually have an opportunity to have someone that they know from our community who loves our people, who loves our community, and is really trying to save the kids in the community and do the best for our community inside and have his voice be heard. So they know that when I walk into those rooms, I'm bringing them with me. So I believe it definitely empowers our hip-hop culture. A lot of the people who didn't see themselves inside of this political sphere, who were pretty much done, are saying, I feel like we have an opportunity with you at those tables, being able to voice our opinion and be able to voice, the ideas of our community.
Greg? Thank you, Roland, and thank you, Brother Mysonne. Yeah, we know what these critics, their purpose is. Their purpose is to try to destroy the Mamdani mayoralty, and they are anti-human. They're anti-life. And I agree with you, brother. Police are doing exactly what they are formed to do, and it has nothing to do with improving the lives of anyone. So that having been said, I think we can set aside the retired chief of department for NYPD talking to the New York Post. It's doing what it needs to do, which is, of course, expressing its dying white nationalist philosophy. And congratulations to New York City for rolling over that. You'll be sworn in, I understand, in a little less than 3 weeks, and you're going to hit the ground running. My question to you and to your comrades as well, I understand that there are several folks from Until Freedom who are joining the 400 plus. What is your philosophy, if you can maybe offer some insight into how you view public safety and how you view so-called criminal justice as it relates to the kind of things y'all will be talking about once you're sworn in, and really get down into the details of how you really transform an institution and transform a society? Well,
I think for us, the reality of public safety is the community-based safety, right? We always say that police don't come and stop crimes in our community. They come and arrest you after the crime. And sometimes they actually make the crime more hyper, and they amp things up. And when you have credible messages in our communities, when you have people who deal with mental health in our communities, because a lot of those situations in community can be prevented, right? We want to deal with preventative measures first. And when you have community respected people inside of the community who come from the community, some who are formerly incarcerated, some who have been former gang members, some who just are community leaders. And when you give those people opportunities and give them jobs inside their communities to where it's a community-based organization, and when people feel comfortable and they're able to foresee, situations happen inside communities, because it's always somebody in that side of the community who has the pulse of the community. So if we start empowering those people who have the pulse on the community, we've seen over the years the CMS, the crisis management system, has reduced violence in our communities tremendously. And we want to pour more into that, pour more resources into that. We don't want to send our people to jail. We don't want to always have our kids going to jail and being suspended. We want to figure out, how do we prevent the crimes before it happens? How do we do restorative justice? How do we find young kids who might have done something that is illegal, and we find a way to give them a path towards being redeemed and being able to be educated and be successful? We don't want to take away the likelihood of their success. So we want to see it as a community-based motto in which we put violence interrupters inside communities, and they work alongside the police. There will be times where the police may be needed. The crime has exceeded something that credible messages can do. But more often than not, they really don't. They don't never have to if we have the resources in our community and we empower the proper people.